Yeah, I was thinking today that finally I'm getting to the point where I'm feeling like, I'm starting to understand what it's like to be a normal person, right? Starting to adjust to life out here and not behind bars. And, it was crazy. I mean, over the last 7 or 8 years, over the last 8 years, really, people thought I was weird. People think I'm weird, right? Because you gotta understand, when you're locked up, when I was locked up, my whole worldview was developed behind some books and a 13-inch TV with 16 channels. Right? That's how I developed what my worldview was and what the outside, what it was like to be free. Right? And so when I start to meet people who characters who remind me of people I saw, shows I used to watch or books I read, I used to meet, these people in real life that remind me of these characters. I'll be so fascinated by these people, and I just want to people thought I was weird. Like people, I'll just be fascinated, so fascinated by that person that it's like, for me, it was like, wow, this person is a real person, and not it's not the character out of the book or on the show, but like the life that the character had in the book or the show. I see in this person, and I used to, I look at people weird sometimes, but in my head, that's what I'd be going through. Is like, it's almost like being starstruck. Like, oh, this person, like this type of person, really exists. Like, this is that person, right? Wow. And they be looking at it like that, nigga. Like, what are you looking at me all crazy for? People don't understand, but you know what? It was one of those things where, like, life out, where now I'm not so amazed by people anymore. I'm starting to realize that, yeah, but this is what life is like. People, you got all these different type of people. Some live amazing lives, some struggle, some everything you would see in a movie or read out of a book, right? Are based off of something that author has actually seen around them, right? And these people and these characters, they exist in real life, in the sense that the characteristics that make up that the author put into that character, he pulled from real life somewhere. And when you see that shit in real life, like, and not having seen that, right, it's like you're almost starstruck. And so, yeah, that was sometimes weird, and you never know how to explain to a person why you look at them all weird like that. Because first of all, you really don't want to tell people at first. I'm more comfortable talking about my story now because I feel like it needs to be talked about. It's therapy for me in a lot of ways, and I mean, I think it's a story a powerful story. In a lot of ways, I see myself in the third person that way, but I see myself from outside myself, and I'm able to appreciate the blessings that I've been given. And I understand that the struggle, the struggle, get from, the struggle is real, man. Struggle is real. So I'm adjusting to the point, 8 years later, where I feel like, you never really can let all that trauma go between the shit growing up to, the shit in your adolescence, then in your teenage years, growing up in prison, and then somehow 8 years later, being a respected professional and living this completely normal life. I mean, people, if it wasn't for my tattoos, people wouldn't even know. They would have no clue on the type of life that I come from. They wouldn't have no clue, and that feels good. Nobody wants to, live in their pain, and so when people don't see me as the person, when people don't see me as that guy that could have seen and experienced all that shit in his life, That's a sign to me that I'm starting letting it go. I'm starting to let it go. I'm starting to grow. So yeah, man. So this flesh becomes words. The life of a convict.